Hello, everybody. We're back. What is this episode 84 now?
Yeah.
Wow. We're going somewhere, but we're going. You know? So, welcome to the Seekers Chronicles Paranormal Historians, where the paranormal meets. Oh, no, it's the other way around. Where the history meets the paranormal. Do not, I'm not,
It only took them 84 episodes.
Yeah, it took me 84 episodes to ruin it. I know. I think I ruined a couple other episodes too. Hey,
who cares?
it is what it is.
Same thing. You
So,
meet.
yeah. So, my weekend wasn't great. So, I had a little procedure this morning. I did yesterday morning at the hospital. I'm okay. They said the doctor told me I got like another 10 years to live, and I said I can't finish paying him in 10 years. Because the bill's so big, so he gave me another 10. So he said I could last another 20, 30 years. So until I pay him off. But all weekend I was taking fasting and taking enemas and all kinds of stuff. So it wasn't such a great weekend. Yeah.
No.
It is.
But there was a happy thing this weekend for you.
Yeah. Well, yes. I'm sorry. It was a good Saturday. It was excellent Saturday. Don't get me. That was Sunday and everything, but Saturday was my grandson's second birthday, and we had a good time. We really did. We had he went to a gym, and they had a bunch of little kids, and they had him jumping around all these little, things with the kids jump around, at the gym, and they had a woman helping them out and stuff. Then they had the party. Then afterwards, we had a big barbecue at my son's mother-in-law's house. So it was nice. It was very nice. Plenty of food and everything. And then Sunday I had a fast.
Right. So, but that's wonderful. Happy birthday, Ian.
Yeah, it was very good. It was a nice weekend. Everybody in the audience, hello. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Hi, everybody. Coming in.
Hi there. So
welcome.
We had a good time. So, but yesterday changed it, and today I feel a little mushad and everything. So, yeah.
Now for those of us who are not Italian American, what does that mean? Because my husband says it all the time.
Mushy, like not feeling like you feel mushy,
like not so happy, not so good.
No, like mushad, like you're mushy, like you're not 100%. You're just like
Well,
Gabish.
Hopefully this will make you feel better.
Okay, yeah, I'll be all right. I'm here tonight, so I know a certain individual.
Here we go.
Had a great weekend because she went with a bunch of people to, what was it?
Mid-Orange Correctional Facility, right?
Correctional. So Jenny paid to go to jail this weekend. She was in a correctional facility.
I was.
Yeah, she was. They put her away. Correctional facility with a bunch of other people we know. So how was it?
For men. Yeah. No, it was great. We had a great time. In fact, our guest was recently with these same people, so that's kind of going to be a fun thing to talk about. I went with my dear friends, the Full Moon Paranormal. I'm kind of like the fifth Beatle with them at times.
They're full moon, and you're a half moon.
Yeah, I'm a half moon.
You're a half moon. You're not full moon yet. You have to work your way up.
I adore them. So full moon out of the Hudson Valley, and also Bear Fort Paranormal. Robert and Sandra Bandoff were with us, and Timothy J. Dalton was with us as well.
Oh, Tim was there? I haven't seen Tim in years.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And we had a really good time. We had the place all to ourselves from like 5 o'clock till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. And
look at the big facility. I've never been there yet. I haven't been there yet.
God, really?
Yeah.
It's an amazing place. It's an amazing place. We were in the tunnels. I mean, you name it. We really, really did a good job investigating it, and it was pretty mind blowing.
Yeah. So
always is.
Look like I seen you threw me a invite to come in on what do you call it? I guess Facebook or a live.
Yeah. We always do lives. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance. I didn't see it until later on, because I had my phone when I was at the house. My phone went dead, and I was charging it in the car. And I left it in the car, and then it was like, nobody's gonna call me. And then of course you call me to go live with you guys, but it's the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I always appreciate when Anthony comes and watches a live because, or anybody, I mean, especially Anthony, because he's so sharp with seeing things. But anybody really who's willing to come on and look behind us, kind of thing. We actually at Trans Allegheny had somebody notice a shadow figure behind us, and we were like, yeah, in a live. And we went back and looked at the footage, and sure enough, right behind us walks this complete shadow figure. So it was really good that they pointed it out. We may not have gone back to it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trans Allegheny has always been a great. I love that play.
Check. So, we might put that on the bingo card.
Well, you're the one that brought it up.
No, I know. That still counts on the bingo card. I am part of the show. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, shout out Miami.
Yeah, Miami's
in the house.
So we have a great guest tonight. We're going to learn some good stuff. He's his own designer. He does a lot of stuff, and this is going to be a good show. Really is.
It's really looking forward to this.
There's a different. It's not even. This is like science, really. Science and the paranormal. What he does, he puts the science into it, and that's what makes it. It's not just the typical equipment with the lights blinking here and there, but he has really data and all this stuff that's unbelievable. So,
Jenny, and IT. Yep. IT and ITC. How about that?
IT.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, let's do it. I say we bring him in. Let's geek out tonight a little bit with Mr. Mark DiNardo.
Yay! Where is he? Come in here. Where are you going? Hey,
get in here.
Get in here. Come on, join us.
He had a big dinner. He said he's probably like snapping in the back.
He's a little shot too. He's a
we lost our guest already.
When you get pasta that's really soggy, that's mushata.
That's mushata.
Oh, thank you. See? Okay.
That's the feeling too, So after surgery, you're groggy, you like wet pasta. From mine al dente.
Yeah, I like mine a lot. Yeah. Al dente.
Don't let my last name fool you. I don't know that stuff. So thank you very much.
She's an impasta Italian. Not a pasta, impasta. Get it? Impasta.
I get it.
You get it? Hey, as long as you get it. So
welcome, Mark. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, we met a while back at the Patchett House. I think it was the first time I met you. Then at the Brickhoff. After that, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we investigated a couple times together already, and it was amazing. Some of the stuff that you had out, and I was like, wow. Because I'm a camera guy. You make cameras. You make it. It's like all the stuff you make is unbelievable. So
thank you very much.
Yeah, you to me are making equipment that's totally outside the box than everybody else. And you constantly think outside the box. But I told you before. We're going to say, how'd you get into the paranormal and stuff like that? Then we'll explain all your little gadgets.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, it kind of, I've always been a fan of the paranormal. I start like everybody else. You Saturday night, you're sitting on the couch, you're watching all the favorite ghost shows. I don't ever trash any of the shows because you can get some really wonderful ideas if you just sit back and look at what the investigative styles are.
Some of the stuff, yeah.
You see Bill Chappell's stuff. Featured on a lot of different shows. I'm nowhere near in his. I mean, he's an engineer. I work in information technology, but I'm really the kind of guy who has a basic programming background and bosses around the guys who can do that deep coding and all the other great things that make this country run. But, so watching the show, was always saying, I could do that. Looking at my wife saying, hey, you think I could? And she's like, yeah, you could do that. But when the pandemic hit, I was home. I was still working, but I didn't have, at the time I had about a 2 hour total commute back and forth to work. And I had all this time on my hands because I would start my day early. I work for a global company and I was free from like 3 o'clock on. So I started tinkering. And I watched a lot of tutorials online about different things. And really it started to fill time. I mean, I built a bunch of cameras just for basic surveillance, I want to catch a deer running around the yard, things like that, learning about infrared cameras, how to modify cameras, all that stuff. But I did everything from building remote control tanks from the 3D printing them and running them around the yard to making massive air pressure cannons, just to fire potatoes out into the next street. I was just filling the time. Um, when I started considering investigating the paranormal, it's really more from a personal story. My dad passed away from COVID. Around the same time that he had COVID, my mom had a massive stroke. And she declined after that. She ended up dying within a year of each other. And, when my mom was in hospice, I was going stir crazy, because you go to the hospital every day and you're, want to be there. You don't know when it's going to happen. The nurses were saying, you've been here for 12 hours. Maybe you should go home. So, my wife was starting to worry about me because I'm like, she's like, you're sheltering in place. You're shutting down because, you're dealing with all this stuff, healthcare proxies and all that fun stuff that goes along with it. So long story short, she said, find something to do, get out of the house. And it's like, all right, well, and she said, what comes to mind first thing? Don't think about it. He said, no, I want to try ghost hunting. I've always wanted that as a thing. It's like, good, find an event and go. So my first event was I just paid to go to a full moon paranormal event. It was the Walden House. And they were very nice. Like, I didn't know anything about anything. I had a couple of basic things, cop camera and a couple of cat balls, nothing really. I asked a ton of questions. They shared a lot of information with me. I looked at what they're using for investigative equipment. I had a healthy respect for also, the basic old school tools like dowsing rods. I think they're valid. We've been using them for centuries to find water. There's got to be a metaphysical connection there. And I caught an EVP my first time out on just a basic Amazon recorder. So after that, I just said to myself, this is a lot of fun. And then I started looking at all my, tinkerings, I call them, because they were all over the house at that point, because the more stress I was under with the whole situation, I just started, my hands were always busy. I'd be on conference calls and I'm still, for work, I'm still making stuff. That's the one thing I miss about working from home, but it is what it is. I would have my camera on, it was just above where my hands were, and I'm putting something together. So that's when I really started thinking about, wow, could I really go out and do this, as part of a team? That's where I first thought, hey, we'll just try it. After that, I continued to do some paid events. I ran into Eleanor Wagner at a book signing, and she took me out on a couple of investigations, which I always appreciate. There was a guy out of Jersey, what is really kind of New York, New Jersey, Sean Flynn. He goes by the name Ghost Cowboy, and he took me through some really cool places.
I know Sean.
Well. Yeah.
So does 305. So does Mondo and the audience. Yeah.
And he put up with my eccentricities when I was trying to kind of, I call it building my tech profile. So when I first started, I had these little cheap little Raspberry Pi based cameras. They had a bunch of wires sticking out. It had 2 buttons, record and stop. And they would run for hours in infrared. And then I'd go home and then I'd realize, okay, in my obsession here, I built 10 of these things. I had 6 of them running. They were running for 6 hours each. That's 36 hours of footage. I said, I can't do this anymore. And then from there, I started, refining different types of devices. So, one of the final versions of those cameras are these little basic cameras that I built. I used to 3D print these cases. Then I found them on Amazon after doing about 10 of them and getting very aggravated. and all I had to do was upload it wasn't custom. I didn't make it, but it's a camera server.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you create a remote connection. If it connects to the internet, I could monitor this from my house and leave it somewhere with a, I have a little cellular modem I bring with me on investigations. But
Mm-hmm.
if somebody said, "Hey, I got activity in my house, I need you to monitor it for 5 days," I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I could do that." Plug them in, put them around the house. They connect to the internet, and I can download the footage and review it. And they're motion activated. You can do time lapse. You can do motion activated. And motion activated with these little cameras, I caught two of my best pieces of evidence so far.
Really?
One at the Absecon Lighthouse and one at the Collins Museum. I caught shadow figures there. So they work. But the problem is with any software that you find on the internet, this is all free to use. Aside from assembling the camera and buying the parts, the software itself is free, but it's outdated because most of the tools that I have run off these little single board computers. They're called Raspberry Pis. And as the software updates, they start retiring the old, they call them camera stacks. So the software becomes out of date. I can't upgrade them. They got to stay as there is. There's a little button on there that says update. I'm like, oh, don't touch that because you'll ruin the cameras.
Right.
So that's how I started, building a lot of different things. And then, during that journey, I decided, maybe I can do this as my own independent group, So I one day just came up with a name, Third Paranormal, really kind of doing the science, the technology, environment, the metaphysical part of it. I firmly believe, Anthony, with your sketch artistry and people that have those extrasensory perceptions that they can perceive things beyond what technology can do. Fortunately for me, my third eye is very closed, so I need some tools to help me along my journey here. But yeah, I mean, my journey really was about seeing my parents go in a way that wasn't pleasant for either one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
you start to think about the afterlife. I was painfully aware of my mortality, and
Yeah.
sometimes a validation that there is a spiritual plane out there that makes you say there's more. It's not that you're going to just age and end up in a bed and that's it. That's your whole life. Oh man, I hope I did everything.
Right.
But I do live after that, I do live my life a little differently. Last summer, like I said, I got laid off for a few months and I was like, hey, severance package is pretty good. We're going to Florida. So me and the wife, we went down, went all the way down to the Florida Keys and back. But a lot of that is live your life now. Doing this kind of stuff gives me a validation of the spiritual plane that we go somewhere, our energy goes somewhere and we're not just plant food, I hate to say it like that, but it's true. It's like, is there something else?
You're right.
Yeah.
It makes the world bigger for you. Like it makes it more about more than just you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We tend to be so inwardly focused on our lives every day and every little thing we're doing. And I feel like investigating the paranormal just kind of opens up the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the focus off ourselves.
Yeah, it makes you feel not as focus on death. It gives you that hope that there is somewhere else, or even we stay here as a spirit. There is something after this.
Right.
So that's what opens us all. I mean, yeah. I mean, afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of dying, but what I'm afraid of is missing out on my family. That's what I'd be more. If anything happened to me, I'd be. That's more my concern for my family, not for me.
Yeah,
So
well, I feel the same exact way. It's what are you leaving behind? So like my daughter, she's a nurse. She was she graduated in December. She's a nurse now, and I kind of look at that was I wrote a couple of checks. She carried that journey forward and leaving her with the ability to have a career. She's got a lot of plans for what she wants to do. She's already doing her bachelor's. I didn't tell her to do that. She went and signed up, So seeing that motivation and driving my kid, it's like, okay, I'm leaving behind the right things,
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's the way I think of it. But with your technology coming, with this stuff coming out, everybody has all these. Now you got the spirit boxes. You have all these different things with static and everything else coming out, and yeah, you get a voice here and there. I think you're closer to anything. If you got, I mean, the stuff that you're coming out with, it's more. To me, it's more believing than hearing a word on. I know recorders. Yeah, I believe in EVPs because if you get a direct answer on EVP, but it's like see, even the spirit box and all that stuff, still static, and you can't always understand. Yeah, everybody says what it could be, and the first
Right.
person says what it is. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, that's it," you know. But what you're coming out with is really something that's real science.
I got
Not
help and respect for anybody's technique. Somebody's using dowsing rods. We did the Columns Museum. I had some of my toys around. Yes, I caught a shadow figure, but Bill Helms was there from Casper, and there was another. I can't remember her name. I'm so embarrassed, but she was using dowsing rods, and they made a bona fide connection to a spirit of a child from one of the local tribes, and I firmly believe that they were connected to it because the answers were very intelligent when they were doing that.
Right.
In my opinion, if you use a pendulum, if you use a stick and a string to investigate, you feel like you're getting some type of connection, have at it. I'm not going to ever say, that's.
yeah.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot
I
of
agree.
people do that. They'll sit and say, well, this is BS. And are you allowed to curse on this one? I'm really heavily editing myself because of my bronze upbringing. But,
Oh, no.
people say things are bullshit or, things aren't,
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
I'm in
what falls
Queens over here. You could be Brook. You could be the Bronx. I'm in Queens. What the fuck?
there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, you don't like my
Oh,
style,
wait.
huff on rule.
Yeah, it's about
Anthony, now I
hey.
recognize you.
Some of that too.
Yeah, there we go. That's how he rolls.
I remember one time when I first started, I had caught a plasma ball. And it's different from an orb. This had and the fact that there was a forced air conditioner in the room that was blowing the other way. I have this plasma ball coming across the room and picked up on one of my cameras. So
Oh my God.
it had enough of an energetic signature that the camera detected it as motion and went off. And I was in the middle of showing this to somebody. Orbs are bullshit, and I didn't explain the fact that actually I've got a couple of alien tattoos. I'm just answering the question. I have one on here.
Yeah, no, it's good. That's Adam. He's our regular viewer in Texas.
I have one on my leg as well that I can't get my leg up in front of the camera, but yeah, and then I got this one I kind of immortalized my journey in the paranormal with my wandering spirit. So.
I love that.
Pretty cool.
As I get closer to retirement, I'm starting to get the tattoos below my sleeve line.
There you go.
Yeah.
Love me for my brain, not for my tattoos.
There you go.
So I digress. What were we talking about?
Just like I was going to take you back to it because I wanted to know, do you feel like, I personally feel like I agree with you with whatever your equipment is that works for you, that you connect with, that's what you should use, right? Like our co-host here, Kim, she is a medium. She walks in with just her millimeter wherever she goes. Mm-hmm. She uses it to verify like her own feelings, right? And that's all she uses is the millimeter, but she's so connected to that millimeter. I mean, she is a doctor, she's a scientist. So, she appreciates the technology, but do you agree with me do you agree that people should use what they connect with, right? Like if it's a feather, use a feather. If it's whatever it is, kind of thing.
I mean, whatever connects to your body, because it is spiritual and it doesn't matter what it is. But I mean, and I'm a camera person. She knows, everybody in the audience knows that, because all we talk about is the cameras with the body cams and everything. But yeah, everybody, if something connects with you, even if you want to use a Ouija board, if you feel comfortable with doing that and you feel you're going to get evidence or whatever, do it.
Yeah.
But there's too much going out there right now with fake stuff, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff going on, and everybody wants a rating, and that's
I don't sell anything,
of course. But I think it's more about the connection than the rating. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's making that connection that's most rewarding.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. When you catch something, it's an awesome feeling,
Right.
90
Right, but it's about the humanity of it, right? Right. Like, I mean, you think about the people and the places and what they, to me, I think about what they went through, what life was like for them, what it was like to have, have to have 10 children because you might lose a few, that kind of thing. I think about that.
Yeah.
You got to have empathy too in this field, because if somebody calls you up and says, a friend of mine actually from Virginia sent me some video. His camera went off in his backyard. I haven't posted it yet because I was still looking at it a little bit, but phoned up and he's like, "What do you think of this?" And of course, there's a sensation. Oh yeah, we call paranormal calling camera. But I did look at it and I was trying to figure out the angle of the light. Could it be a shadow? And this thing is front and center. It's an infrared security camera. There's no shadow that would cast in that direction. So it's the point I'm going to post it out for opinions, and say, hey, what do you think? I'll never say. I say it's incredibly unexplained. I can't, I don't even see any bugs in this frame. This is something that I consider unusual, anomaly.
Right.
I like to use that word.
If you want another set of eyes, you always can send me anything you want.
Yeah,
I mean,
Anthony's so good. He's so good at that. I have to say, like, that's his strength. Like, he'll see stuff that I never would have seen.
Because like IR and everything, all you need is a bug to give a shout out. That's what, and or orb or something. It's so much out there that just the IR illuminates it that it looks like it's a light coming back at you.
Right.
That's why I like this behind me, is because it's using a combination of things. Millimeter wave radar. It's the main thing that's guiding this little. Plus, I'm a fan of aliens, so I love the graphic. But basically, what that's doing is they used to have Doppler sensors out there. A couple of years back, you walk to a bathroom, the lights go on, you don't see anything around. It's usually one of those sensors in the ceiling. But this is actually geared more for human light detection. So they're using security cameras. So, this one actually came out of a tutorial I saw online. These guys in Australia host a website and they made like a game out of it. They were using motions to kind of do a Pong thing. And they did have a graphic similar to this one. So I looked at the code, I downloaded it onto one of my machines and I tested it. And it was getting so many false positives. I'm like, I could never use this out in the field. So what I did is I modified it with filters. So I set a range. So I'm sitting behind it. It's not going off all that many times because I set the sweep rate. Like it's like, look, say 30 degrees out, minimum distance 3 meters. And that protects if I'm like, at the Shanley Hotel, for instance, and you're, have a group there, I can kind of narrow the range and point it into a room and make sure it's not reflecting off the window or anything like that. And then I'm able to filter out false positives. LiDAR is a big thing now, and basically it's an infrared laser that's spinning and it gives you a map of the room. So it's hard to see from here. It's on one of the videos I sent you, but it'll have the outline of the room. And in the code, if millimeter wave radar catches something and the LiDAR catches something, it joins together and makes a red dot saying, but it also records video in both thermal and in infrared. So, if there's a temperature anomaly in the room and the camera goes off, old figure, hot figure, I'm going to pick it up. I know the wave radar works because when I first built it, I didn't have a camera on it. It was just a graphic with a little sensor. And Casper had one of the meetups, and I was upstairs with a couple of the guests. We had it out. We were asking questions, trying to see if a response would come through. And long story short, I'm like sitting there like, this thing works. I'm a piece of shit. I'm going to throw it away when I get home. Hold my head and shake. All of a sudden, you've been to both of you have been to Shanley, right? So
many times.
Yes.
Right. So on the far end of it, there's the one room like this and then a room like this. So I'm sitting all the way in the back talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you see something come out on the screen. Red one way, then yellow the other way, meaning something came out of one of the rooms and then came right back out. There was nobody close to the machine.
And that was down the hallway?
You mean like on the first floor by the gentleman's quarters, or?
No, upstairs in the brothel.
Upstairs. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, by the brothel?
In the brothel, yeah. So it came out of one room and came back. And we both sat there and were dumbfounded. First, I was like, oh my God, so my build works. And then at the same time,
Right.
it's like, and then I'm already saying in my head, I don't have a camera on this thing. So if there was something going on in that room that could be seen, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
would. So then I added two cameras. The thermal's not on it because it's on my rover right now, but it has a thermal camera that's attached. And also, like I said, an infrared camera. And it's designed, if it picks up something on the LiDAR or on the wave radar, it'll start recording a 15-second clip. Then it'll just download it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's awesome. Yeah, didn't you speak at the Shanley last night? Weren't you at the meeting?
Bill canceled it. I don't think I think he was thinking he wasn't going to get many attendees. So
Okay, well, next time then you'll have to do it again for sure.
I've presented there before.
Armando said he just realized Arnie?
Yeah, Arnie. I was just talking to him over the weekend because he saw my rover video.
Just realized it was you. Okay, well, there you go. Now you know each other. That's so funny.
I follow him on Instagram.
That's yeah. Oh, it's Jenny. Sorry.
Jenny.
Hi.
Jenny's 305 and Mr. 305.
Okay. You know what? Well, I'm listening to guests sometimes, Jenny, and I don't look at the little prefix. Sorry.
Don't forget about our Florida people here.
Jenny's always better.
Oh, yeah. Mondo doesn't like to hear that, does he?
Well, Jenny's are better. Tough.
No,
Jenny Power.
Well, okay. Jenny with Y's. I don't know what IEI.
That's all right. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I love her. So
they're good people.
I love it. Yeah. So you mentioned the rover.
Oh yeah. So one of the videos that I sent over to Anthony was, like I've always played. I love RC
We should start playing some of these videos because you're talking about these things.
Yeah, I have a whole video on how this thing works, but since I explained it, I don't know if you want to play a video at this point. We can just move on to something else. Also, I was talking about these cameras that the software is getting outdated. So I went ahead and I built a whole interface. I haven't posted this anywhere, but this basically does everything that this camera does. But because, and I'm just going to get nerdy for 1 second. These little single board computers, see all those little pins there?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
You can hook up all different types, and they call them general purpose input-output pins. What it means basically is you can take sensors, plug them in here, and the Pi can read them. So what this one does is not only does it's set for motion, but I also have the option of turning on. This is a really old project that I just salvaged for this thing to test if it would work. Passive infrared sensor, PIR. All those little coffins that sing and do everything because it detects a change in the temperature.
Yeah.
This will actually start recording if there's a significant change of temperature. And then you might see on a lot of some of the paranormal equipment that's out there, that's ultrasonic. So it sends out a sound wave, and then if something bounces off,
oh wow,
you can math that. You can say, hey, something's usually about six meters roughly. You can go all the way out, and then it'll also start recording a video clip as well. So I kind of am going down that direction because any sensor that I can think of that I can mount on here, I can actually go back and revise some code, and I can turn those sensors on and off if I want to just do straight motion. So one of the clips that I sent to you was when I went with the Third Paranormal on a private investigation. Excuse me. One of the people that are responsible for the location ran out of the room because she thought she got touched, and I caught it. You see her just go flying out of the room because my motion sensor picked it up.
That's funny.
I seen that one. You want me to play that?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so that's me at the end of the. I didn't even notice she ran out of the room. I was setting up LiDAR on one side and this other camera on the other, and So then one of the ladies from Third Power said, "Hey, did you catch so and so running out of the room?" And I'm like, "Go back and went through the videos. Yep, here you go." And then there was one video I forgot to send you, but I think Full Moon had posted it, so they saw my camera and they started kind of salsaing out of the room, dancing, and I caught it on infrared as they're doing like a little conga line
You
out of
know
the room.
something? They posted that. I remember seeing that on one of their things.
That was off the LiDAR unit. That's the thermal, So
I seen them dancing. They all started laughing.
yeah, so they're
Okay,
messing
I
with my
seen that
band.
on a video. I remember seeing that. Yeah, I don't. You didn't send that to me, did you? No,
Which one?
them dancing.
No, it's on their Facebook page, I think. I should have sent it, I forgot.
If I know that was from you, I would have took it off their page and put it on.
Yeah.
You know, that was funny. So you, I mean, the stuff you have here is like really scientific, or scientific. You know, this is, I think it's really cool. You got a couple. Your videos you send me really don't have any names on it. So,
Yeah.
That's
Why
okay.
don't
this
you,
It
if you want
doesn't
to do
matter.
why don't you do the Rover one? You should see
Oh,
like looks like a big RC car on the front of it. It says
okay.
Paranormal Project Part One in the title of the video. You can play that one if you want to start there.
okay. Trying to figure out which one's which.
I have a quick question. You said you could set the range, like so you can set it to what's the range you can set it to? The
This one here.
ultrasonic, you were saying like, can it be 6 meters? Can it be 12? How far can it go?
It's all done in the coding. I think the maximum for one of those ultrasounds, I wouldn't trust it above 2 meters, just a little over 6 feet, 7 feet. It's
Yeah, I
really a
agree.
close
Okay,
thing.
that's what I was asking. Yep.
They're
Okay. Yeah, it really,
mostly,
I agree. That's the problem. Once you get past that.
yeah.
Okay.
But that's what the motion is good for. That's going to be for as far as the camera can see. If something's
Right.
moving, then
That's pretty
you can
far.
pick it up. Right.
Okay.
Like you could pick up a tree line, something like that.
Good. Theoretically, if it's in frame and it's clear enough that something's moving, it'll feel better.
That's what I would
It
use it
also
for,
this
especially with the thermal.
yeah, I can use
Um,
it outside too
That was
because
my next question.
that's
I
pretty
love
cool.
the outside investigations.
I
Okay.
won't set it off or anything like that. But when I first built it and I tested it, I went outside. I was in my shorts, just wandering around the yard just to
Yeah,
see. But I left it out there for
that's
like
how
a
you do
half
it.
hour, didn't figure anything out. But the idea is, anytime you see some type of shadow figure, it's human
Yeah,
light. So may as well use
that's how you
something
do
like
it.
okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm not sure which one's which. I'm going to play this one. I see a white screen, and I mean, these are this big on my screen, so they're really
Oh, okay.
tiny. So I'm trying to judge it because when we don't have any markings or names on it, it's
I'll know
hard
for
to
next time.
put it first.
So the interesting
Wow.
thing about those voices at the end of that clip is that isn't an open microphone. That's kind of similar to what the digital seance experience does. They use some type of tone or pulse generator, and
Yeah.
they're extracting the voices. The way I did it was I didn't have all, Ron's setup is very
Yeah.
sophisticated, way more sophisticated. And if I had the time and I was just dedicated to like EMF work, you
Mhm.
know, I have a prototype in progress that I'm trying with Radivate microphones and all of that. And I've gotten some pretty scary responses, especially when I'm sitting in my house. The problem
Lovely.
is yeah, there was a little kid that came through one time, went hello, and I played it to my
Oh
wife,
boy.
and my wife's like, "Where did you record this?" I said, "About 5 minutes ago here." She's like, "You really have to do this in the house?" Um, but that system is very, very. It's very. I'm probably going to post something about it at the end
Well,
of the
Ron
year when I
doesn't use
perfect it.
they don't use microphones.
Nope, it's a closed loop sound
Yeah, it's a
generator.
closed loop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
no
not
mic,
even a
no
microphone,
open microphone.
and
Yeah.
it's not even a close. It's an open loop. It's a generator, a white noise
Yeah.
generator. That's all they got.
Yeah,
You know.
Right.
so the
Filter.
way when I first started playing around with it, I found there's a service you can get online. I don't mind sharing it because anybody can try this. It's called Crisp. The software is designed to be used for conferencing. So if you're driving in a car and you have wind, or
Yeah.
background noise, the software is very good at taking that sound out. So when you feed something like the sound of the pulse generator or white noise generator through there, it's pulling out a lot of that noise and you're finding what's under the covers. And that's what that all was. And if you really listen to that with like headphones on, you can really hear different voices,
Hmm.
which basically Absecon Lighthouse's history, they had people die in the home. That little figure that I caught, there were reports of a child. My wife felt like something touched her hand when she was sitting there, and she felt like it was a child.
Yes.
And but getting back to that app, all I did was I took my laptop, I plugged in the sound generator low, I ran it through the conferencing app through Audacity, and I was starting to get voices. But it's very cumbersome, and you have to use the internet because it's a big AI model that you have to do it with. But if anybody wanted for fun to set something like that up, you get voices, and it's pretty eerie.
What's the program called?
It's called Crisp,
Chris.
KRISP. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But I
That
have a
is
unit that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that is one of my favorite locations, and I've been there maybe 6 times. Like I love it so much, and there is that story, the reports of that little girl, especially in that corridor just before you get to the lighthouse itself. And we've
Right.
gotten a lot of evidence of that. So I
So,
loved seeing your figure because I've experienced her in a way, in my own way. So that was really meaningful to me. Thank you.
and there was a lot of corroboration. If you watch the whole video series I posted, I have a YouTube channel. I don't do many of my own hosted investigations because I just don't have the time. Because it's like if I'm making this stuff and then I'm using it for evidence collection and then reviewing the evidence, it doesn't leave a lot of time. And we all have day jobs, so but
Mhm.
that place was well worth the time. It was. I used a psychic medium. Her name is Melinda. She's based out of the South, I believe. And she called in cold. I didn't tell her where I was going to be. I said, "Hey, do you want?" I just took a. I one time went out and asked if anybody wanted to join my team, and she said, "I'd be
Yeah.
happy to do, investigations with you remotely." And she not only, and I wrote it all on the actual video, and that's part 3, where she starts naming names, she starts talking about events, and she had no idea I was going to be at the lighthouse until I told her. And I was
Mhm.
like, she wouldn't have had, like, she had literally 2 minutes before I told her where we were going to be
Right.
to that. Long story short, a lot of the corroboration came from some of the EVP work, the evidence of the little girl, personal experiences, and of course the video evidence. And Melinda was spot on. She was getting. I had a book, or not a book, like pamphlet with all the names of people that were noteworthy and who died or had some affiliation. She named like 5 or 6 of them, and I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
Pretty amazing, you know.
Right. You had the whole disaster there. I mean, like so much happened there. And it's such a gorgeous location. And I love it. I love it. I really do. Just curious, were any of the names Grace?
I don't think so. I'd have to go back on the videos of 2 years ago. So,
that's just so interesting because when we were there, we had, through a spirit box, we felt like we kept hearing Grace, Grace, Grace. And then this is one of my favorite pieces of evidence. We shut the spirit box off, and on my body camera was still running. And it was like, Grace, did you hear Grace? Did you hear Grace? Turn it off. And then on my body camera, you hear the EVP, Grace. It was like, wow. Like, because we're like, are we hearing Grace? And then someone says Grace in an EVP, like, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but that's definitely a spirit of the little girl there. And, a lot of terrible things happened at that place. Like, even when the victims were being brought there from the boat disaster, they were being filched. Somebody was going in and stealing their money. And that person has a tie to that. And they say maybe his spirit is around because of the guilt he had, all of it. So there's a lot. And that's one of the first investigations. I don't usually read up on the places. I kind of go in. It's like, don't tell me anything. I'll look it up later because I just want to put out my toys and see what I find, and then see if anything kind of corroborates. But everything just came together. That was probably one of my favorite investigations I've ever done. That and the Columns Museum.
Columns is good too. Do you feel that now that you're starting to do these investigations and stuff, that your abilities might be opening a little bit to some feeling? You might be becoming like more and more like a sensitive that you're going in? Because I know people that have scientific minds usually keep close to it and they just want to go the other way. Like somebody I know next to me.
He's talking about me, but okay.
Yeah. But I mean, they close up on it because they it's like I said with her, it's like it's a battle. Science tells you one thing, and the paranormal doesn't make sense to anybody in the science field. But do you feel that you might be opening up a little more to, not as investigator, but as more sensitive to the paranormal with spirits and everything?
It has to be intense. Like, going back to the Shanley Hotel, for instance, the third floor where, I remember even before I was investigating, I went up there one night just with my wife to stay over. And,
nice.
I went up and Kelly showed me that floor when they pulled down the stairs all the way up.
The third floor on there. That's what the most active floor.
So the first time I went up the stairs. I saw, as I was coming down, the stairs behind me were creaking, not from my footsteps, and I just felt like I was going to get pushed down the stairs. And when Kelly used to open it up for the Casper meetups, and I used to stay up there, thanks, Bill. He used to send me up there. Like, hey, why don't you host the group on the floor?
Let's go up there.
That floor gave me the absolute
Shut
creep.
the door.
And
Bye.
I would just, when the groups came down, I would just wait on the second floor for the next group, and then I would go up with them. And then the last investigation of the night, I would just start packing up my things at the end so I could just get right out of there. That's the only place really that gives me the creeps. But, like Mid Orange Correctional Facility, I did that a few years ago. The nice thing about that is you could pay to go on your own, and it's so big you can pretty much find a spot and be by yourself and do whatever investigations you want to do.
You camp out anywhere you want.
Yeah, the only place I chickened out there I think I saw Tim Dalton was down in that long tunnel.
In the tunnel.
Underneath. I got about halfway through and I was shining my light, and I'm like, you know what? My light is not even reaching the end of this tunnel. Now I'm going back. And I just turned around and left because I was like,
you think somebody might be walking behind you, and then it's all over. like, oh God, don't turn around. Those tunnels are creepy. Even like I don't tend to be scared ever, but those tunnels are pretty creepy.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet.
So I don't know about sensitive. Like I said, I always joke about my third eye. I think I also have busy brain, so like, and sometimes people think I'm being rude because I'm thinking about four or five things at the same time. So I don't know if I have that ability to quiet my brain long enough to really take it in. But I am trying
I
to
love that
meditate more.
expression, busy brain. I'm going to use that. It's so pleasant.
Yeah, my wife.
I'm not going to say
Brain.
that does fit you.
My wife calls it squirrel moments because I'll be, in the middle of conversation, I'll think of something else and I'll digress and then she's like, "Can you just squirrel?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I
Oh
squirrel."
my God.
You
He calls me Bing Bing. He's like, you're like Bing, 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 Bing.
Never still.
Yeah, yeah.
I
just have a
like
lot of
busy
stuff.
brain better.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Mary Beth. Yeah,
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
true. It's true.
You
That's
know,
me.
Not if you don't have it.
I can so relate. I can so
I think
relate.
about that all the time. Do I have a slight bit of ADHD?
Busy
But
brain.
somebody,
Do you think we're going to get all crazy now because it's been almost an hour, so let's do it. Do you feel like you could be hypnotized?
no.
Or you feel like you couldn't ever shut that off, that conscious brain?
First of all, I don't like people walking around in my head. You know what I mean? Like in
Okay,
that
good.
regard, I don't even think I would sit. If somebody came, you're getting sleep, get away from me. You're not doing that to me because
Yeah.
I'd be afraid of losing something. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Oh, control. Yeah. Yeah. And so
it's not so
but the
much.
reason I asked that is because are you giving up control to let your third eye take over? It's the same kind of idea to me.
Letting go. I mean, I've,
Yeah.
like when my dad passed, my dad was a very type A personality, on the plus side, kept me on the straight and narrow and off drugs and all that stuff, especially growing up in the Bronx. I mean, you know how it is in the city. You have your really close friends that got your back always, but you also know that guy if you needed a bag of cocaine and a gun, you know who to go to
Right.
because there are
Hey,
people
you know
that
a
aren't.
guy that knows a guy, you know what I'm saying?
He knows the guy.
But especially when he got sick, I had already started doing this for a long time. Once you have kids, you mellow out. But what a Dodge Charger, traded it in, what a Challenger. I did all the crazy things because I'm like, let go. I mean, it's. But I've gotten better, but I don't know if I can let go to the point that
Right.
all that stuff comes in. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a couple more videos
Yeah.
I like to play because I know you want to do a live demonstration, don't you? Didn't you want to do a
Well,
live
I wanted
demonstration?
to just talk about them, but
Yeah.
if you could find a
We're
Rover
up
one,
for
that'd be
anything.
great. I know
Okay. I'm not sure
We
which
are
one's the
up for
Rover. I
anything.
think I'm not sure. So you got one that's 44 minutes, one that's 57 minutes. And you got one that's 21 minutes. Let me
25
see.
minutes. Oh, that might be the one. It might be 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It's roughly 2.5 minutes, that video. That's the
Okay,
one you
I'm gonna
want.
play that one.
Okay.
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 Here we go.
Right.
Nope, that's the wrong one.
No,
Okay.
but but if
57
we have
minutes.
time, I'd like to see that one again, or I'll go on YouTube.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna try this.
That's
That's
a
good.
summary of how this thing works. At least you get an idea of what happens on the screen when it detects something, both
Yeah.
LiDAR and with the
Very
other
cool.
with the wave radar.
That was good. I agree, Mary Beth. Sweet.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
very cool. Very cool.
You have one here, 44. 44. I'm gonna play that next. And
Just play
because
them. I'll talk through them. We'll get to it eventually.
Anna, If you were really mad at that girl yesterday, knock that robot over.
Holy shit, I hope somebody was recording that.
Did you get it?
No.
Holy shit.
I had mine off.
Can we do that? Can you knock it backwards, Anna? If you were really upset with that girl yesterday, and I don't blame you.
Oh my. Did it knock over?
No.
That's cool.
That's actually a fun clip. So
I know.
I can't take any credit for this. So one of the ghost shows, somebody was using it. So, what the hell is that little robot? And they were getting responses out of it. And I thought it's really cool. And I've used it a few times at the Shanley Hotel. You can on eBay. They're called MIPS, MIP. It's a little child's robot. Now, what's cool about it is
I have one.
Yep. Yeah, I brought them up there. The full moon girls started buying them. I have about 10 of them. I just kept buying them on eBay one day because they were really
I love
cheap.
it.
But the secret of that robot is that it's got 2 infrared sensors where the eyes are. So if you go like this, or if your hand goes away from it, it'll go right, it'll go left, or it'll follow. So that video, Kelly was up there, and apparently that weekend, there was an argument between a couple because they were encouraging one of the brothel spirits to sit on his lap, and the girl got extremely jealous. She got up, stormed out. He stormed out. They had an argument in the parking lot. So Kelly was recounting the story to us and then asking Anna how she felt, and all of a sudden the robot gets knocked over. And when I went, holy yes, I hope somebody was recording it. I actually was, because I had one of my little cameras on the table, so I caught it. And I had a cop cam on at the time, and I caught their reaction when they saw it. So I just split the 2 videos together. But that's an example of a kid's toy that you can use. I think it makes an ideal trigger object. It does have sensors in it, so you're getting that all done for you for free.
Yeah.
And it works.
Mm-hmm.
We used it at the Clemson Brewery. Full Moon Paranormal had invited me to help, because they had a big crowd, so I was hosting a few of them. And I had the wave radar going. I also had one of those robots, and then there's a young kid that hangs out with that name. And I ask every time when I see them, it's that girl that comes with you on some of the investigation, a younger girl. She was there with a couple of her friends, and they kept asking questions, and they started talking, can you make the robot move? And all of a sudden you see that thing jet across the room. And all the while on this millimeter wave radar, we kept getting a sensor reading all the way in the corner. And it was about almost at the max, which is about 10 meters I have it set for. So it couldn't have been any of our biosignatures because we were all sitting back and the sensors were forward. So, that's one of the times I wish I had my cop camera on me because,
the body cam.
I was getting sensor readings, we were getting interactions. But yeah, to Mary Beth's point, kids' toys can be the best thing to interact with.
Oh yeah, I'm very big with the trigger objects. Between dolls and toys and stuff like that. I'm very big with it because that you bring those on those investigations. Children, even adults, can relate to those.
True.
Especially, and at hospitals or the penitentiaries and stuff, because at these places, especially hospitals, when they used to see something coming in that could light up or anything, a lot of these patients, especially the handicapped patients, know that as something that could hurt them. So when you come with things lit up, if you come in with something that's more manual that doesn't have any lights on it, you could probably get stuff. They'll come to that instead of an object that might light up or make buzzing sounds. Because at hospitals or penitentiary, it could be something that's going to hurt them. So I could see them coming to something that's less, electronic.
I brought a yo-yo over the weekend and jacks, and it was so popular. Like it really worked. A wooden yo-yo and jacks I bought.
This is my bell.
It worked great. I'm sorry?
This is my bell. It's not connected to anything.
No, it's not.
If this rings on an investigation,
You're going to see Anthony run.
I would take this as more of a trigger, as
Yeah.
Right.
and something
Like a
had some
old-
kind of
old
electronic
timey.
batteries, or
Right.
oh, here we go to another bingo thing. But being an electrician, you look into that
Here we go.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about the bingo game.
So
We have a little joke on the show that every show, no matter where the guest is from, they could be from Arizona, they could be from Montana. For whatever reason, certain themes come up. And we were joking that we should have a bingo card. But on that bingo also is the
Shanley
fact
came
that
up quite a few times tonight.
Shanley
Shanley's one
is
of the
on
bingo
there.
card things.
Shanley Hotel is on there. You haven't said a couple others that I won't say yet, just in case you say them. No matter where you're from. And one of them is Anthony saying he's a retired electrician. So there you go. That's when I did the check.
I just say that not to show that I'm.
I don't know why we came up with the
that
bingo
helps
card.
me on investigations.
Yeah. This was a Kimm thing.
Current and electricity and stuff like that.
No, it's just themes. I think it's really interesting that no matter where people are from who come on the show, you're from New York, so that's not too far. But so it's kind of obvious you're going to say things that we know. But even people from far away, they're like, hey, have you been to, I'm not going to say it just in case you say it, because I'm going to do a big check when you say it. Yeah. Anyway, go on. Have you ever been to a cemetery, Anthony?
Yeah. You know better than that. I've been to many.
Have you thought about taking that to a cemetery? I mean, I don't know if you even think cemeteries are haunted. Some people don't.
This thing, any of these? I just haven't had a chance to. I've done EVP sessions in cemeteries. I haven't really gotten any interesting replies, but that's part of the reason why I built. Actually, I'll hold it up. You want to meet my
Please.
rover?
I can't wait. Yeah. In fact, someone said something about you should put it on like wheels, and I think they didn't know you had done it. I think it was Ron.
It's about the size of a small dog. So it looks like a lot of wires, but one of the videos I sent to you. So there's your LiDAR, there's your thermal camera. There is front and back infrared cameras. And there's a little, well, you won't be able to see it, there's a GPS antenna on it. And one of the videos I sent you is this is totally beta. I've literally been working on it this month. The concept with this is eventually, because it has GPS and I can map to it, is to self-drive it. So let's say Gettysburg. You don't want to go out in the field with a ton of investigators. This will self-drive. It streams video to my laptop. It's not remote control. It's not, like a radio. It's unlimited range because it's got a cellular modem on it. That means that it is broadcasting to an application called Tailscale. You set a VPN tunnel on your computer and you can control it from anywhere. I haven't tested it yet, like down the street, because the other day when I was driving it around, there's a little bit of a lag in the video when you look at it on the computer. So I'm getting a live video feed. So what happened was I was driving it, I wasn't paying attention, and it rolled out to the street. The only reason I realized it was in the street because I looked I have little pop-up boxes, so I popped up the GPS radar to see where in the yard it was. I was like, holy shit, it's in the street. And my street's very busy, so I had to run out of the house. I was sitting on the couch with the computer playing with it. Ran out in the street, grabbed it before somebody could run it over. It was really, I told my wife afterwards, she was laughing. She's like, you got to be careful with that thing, Yeah, you know what it's on right now? It's on a rock crawler, a radio controlled rock crawler. And there's one of these boards on there that's the brain. And that's what's controlling the movements. So basically I have a game kit on my computer. I'm connecting to my local internet. The rover connects to the internet through a cellular modem, and it's providing a video feed, front, back, thermal. So there's a lag in the video now, so I got to reduce the video quality so it streams real time, which I already have it. I just got to, play with it. I'm working out a small power issue with it as well because
could that lag be because of interference from the wiring and the battery pack? Do you oversize the wires? Do you still keep them like what are they, 24 or 14s? What do you keep on there? The wires, 16s.
So the rover runs on 12 volts, and the drive battery is actually under the body, and it's away from the electronics. The batteries on the top actually power the Raspberry Pi, because it requires 5 amps, 5 volts. See, talk electrical. So it's 5 volts, 5 amps for
5
that.
amps? You said 5
Um,
amps?
Yes.
5
Are
volts,
you
5
kidding
amps.
me? Wow.
Yeah. And
The
you
thing
know,
is
you got
like Dr. Frankenstein's monster. That's like your
it,
baby. Oh my God.
it looks like that
Live.
because what I did was, and the video shows that I 3D printed a bunch of plates, folded them together, put it on top of the rover, and just laid all the electronics, because I have a version 2 already, which is a 6-wheel rover that I had built a while back. I just kind of left it on the shelf. But it's got dual shocks per wheel. It's very smooth. You won't get a lot of jitter. But for testing all of this stuff out, I just needed like a flat surface that I can roll around, put on the
Yeah.
electronics, see what works, what doesn't work, So, but the idea is this thing will have self-drive mode. Like I could just set a waypoint on it, send it out. It'll sit, record. We'll have ears. It's going to have audio input. I might put a little parabolic microphone on it if I can fit it. But the idea
You
is
know that's
capture
going to
evidence.
that is not only just be for the paranormal. You could sell that to some. I mean, the prototype you could sell to some kind of like guards or security company, and
I
they
was
could
gonna
put that out there at nighttime instead of having dogs or security guard. You put that out there,
Oh,
and
they
that'd
already
drive
have it.
around. That could take over for a security guard.
You'll find videos online. China has a version of the robot that kind of goes around. When you go to Newark Airport, some of the parking lots have robotic security guards. They're basically small pods that run around the parking lot and just watch your cars for you. And they have the
They
ability
have
to
it in
call
stores now too. I
for
see like
help.
at Walmarts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
the idea here is it's a platform to try different things, like millimeter wave radar I can put on here, a little sensor. It's only about this big, and you can get data from it. But it has to be stationary. That's the one thing about these sensors. You can't move around with them, otherwise it freaks out and doesn't give you an accurate reading. With stationary, you park this thing, your eyes, your ears, your senses, trying to pick all the things. But this was more of a, just a fun project for me, just to see what I could do. I had all the parts lying around, and I was like, what I
I
can
love
do
it.
here.
Well, what do you
Yeah.
think about the Tesla, in their car, that screen that they've been saying picking up spirits? Do you think
I did
that's
not hear this. Wait, say this again. What?
the Tesla
So
cars?
I didn't know this.
Tesla has yeah, it's been on the internet for a while. Tesla has a self-driving feature.
I live in a cave,
Self-driving,
Mark. I clearly.
uh,
It does.
I live in a cave.
but on the Tesla has a self-driving feature, and there are sensors in there that can detect, obviously obstacles on the road. It keeps it from crashing into walls, even
Sure.
though I would never trust it because I'm in the IT business, and I guarantee you there's millions of lines of code written offshore, and you never know what bug is in there, because
Okay.
they're under pressure to produce. So
Right. Good to
my
know.
hands,
Plus, you should drive your car. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
your hand should be on the wheels. It's like AI.
Always.
You always have a hand on the switch because you never know what it's going to do.
Mhm.
But
Right.
what
And you have
happens,
judgment, like that human judgment. Right.
right?
Anyway, go
The
on. Sorry.
human brain
Tangent.
is the most, yeah. But to your point, the human brain is the most
Complex.
sophisticated computer. Yeah, you're never going to
Agreed.
replicate. Well, AI is coming pretty damn close, but better
Yeah,
your
but
hands on the wheel. At least in my opinion.
no, you're never going to replicate love, you know?
So, what do you think with like? Is that really picking up spirits, or it's just some
My
kind of anomaly? It's like on the SLS or whatever. It's just trying to figure out certain things. Like um, it's just scanning, going along, and whatever it might
so
be might be.
so to Mary Beth's point, the XLS on a phone.
Mhm.
I've tested them with GhostTube and a couple of the apps, but they're prone to errors. Like I used one time just to play around at a location, and laundry was being picked up as a figure or a hat rack or a tall lamp. It's really situational awareness. If you are down a hallway with nothing that has that skeletal feature that an XLS camera will pick up,
Mhm.
there may be something to it. I mean, I have one. I got mine. I built myself. Basically, all I did was go out to eBay. I bought the Kinect. You get the later version, which is what we call an XLS, because the processing of the images, the skeletal stuff is all done within the unit. So, you can just plug that into a Windows tablet, Windows 11 or better, and you download, it's called an SDK, but it's Microsoft's software suite, all free. So if you have a tablet that's strong enough, the whole project with batteries, maybe a bunch of $200, and you can use that software. And the interesting thing about the XLS when you do it that way is when you play back the recorded, it's not just a movie clip or a video clip, it's actually the sensory data. Like you can play it back on the Windows application, you can move around the video because it's 3D. You can run the black and white feed, because most people don't know this, with that XLS Microsoft Kinect camera. It's got a wonderful low light infrared camera on it. And it's great even if you didn't want to use all that stuff and you just needed a really good camera to point into a dark space, great resolution.
Right.
But the phone apps, don't rely on them because they are prone to errors. And the technology in the camera is on the phones is not the same as an XLS or the Windows or Microsoft Kinect later version. The second version of that camera is what you want, not the first version. Look at the second generation.
Right.
The second generation, yeah, because I
totally
got the first generation with the and it maps out a lot of stuff that false positives to me. So, plus the batteries don't last long on the tablet, so that's why I don't carry it anymore, because you're carrying it, and then all of a sudden it dies on you mid. And a lot of these our investigations, we go locations that takes all night, and you walk in, and now you got to carry this thing all over the place. So, and the phone apps like that, I can't see, because like on the SLS, you got the camera, and it has this. It goes down and it maps things. It has the light from the from the infrared on it, which your camera doesn't have that. So, I mean, I could see maybe mapping on one or two things, but on a phone, but I don't. It doesn't have the same technology to me.
No.
Yeah, the later versions of the iPhones, like I think it's the 16 and up, it has some of that, but it's a very short range. It won't cover a room. It's got to be practically in your face for it to work. So, rather than invest in those apps, get yourself a cheap camera, with the right camera, or cop cameras today, the resolution is so good. To use that's one of the inspirations to this project is when you said you used to have a front and back camera. When I was building, I was like, I'm gonna do an Anthoiny Jennie here, put a front and back camera, because what the software board can allow. I mean, the hardware can allow front and back cameras. But there's going to be a version of this that's all self-contained. That looks pretty, and it's also, I can't drive this thing around in the rain because everything's exposed. But I'm going to put a cover on it. And
that was my next question: is how do you make it weatherproof? How do you make it so you can send it into the tunnels? When it's wet, when it's mold, does that affect it? I mean, how sensitive is that? The electronic moisture, humidity, things like that.
So moisture and humidity, humid day, not so much. With rain, I would have to create a cover for it, because some of these electronics are not meant to be outside. But the idea for this is, if you want to, your cemetery example, I want to try that one of these days. I'd sit in my car, and map it out and watch it follow the road in the cemetery. Number one, less of a chance of it getting run over, and number two, I can really test how the self-driving is going to work. So it's really, I like to call it a concept platform. In other words, I'm working out the technology, coming up with the software that's running behind the scenes, the application, and then from there, whatever I can think of to put on there, I can just keep adding, and at the same time. So I have a set of wheels in my basement. They're about 8-inch wheels. I'd imagine in a year, the final version is going to be a legitimate,
like the one that lands on the moon, huh?
Oh yeah.
Like they land on the moon. The rover that they land on the moon. Yours is gonna be that big. It's gonna be like You could probably sit in it if you need to.
Yeah, I would say if I'm using dogs, like I said, it's about the size of a small dog. This is about as heavy as a French bulldog. Probably the final version would be a Great Dane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? That big?
Yeah, I mean,
I would
to
say
cover it, no, you could do too for the cover. I know because I have a full production camera, and they actually sell covers for the rain for those.
right.
So maybe you could put something like that on, because you don't want to make it any more any heavier than it is. And like you said, electronics. Some of the electronics, in moisture, not supposed, even cold or extreme heat could destroy it also. So
Exactly.
you're gonna have you're not gonna be able to use on everything that you may, like out in the desert or in in the winter during a snowstorm or something. You know.
The idea for this is, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't want to bring cameras out in the rain anyway, even if they were watertight, because the reflection
Yeah.
off the rain will cause interference. We're not really
Right.
going to get anything too clear. Um, you know, big warehouse or a big facility, I could run this thing around outside at like a grassy field or a cemetery or any place where I don't want to wander myself. Or, a lot of people with urban exploring, if they want to go up on a property that they're not supposed to be at, like Letchworth, you can go around the first floor with this. If you drive right in, it's a
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I call it guerrilla paranormal investigating. But yeah, like when let's say one of our guests was saying, one of our chat people were saying a place that's closed, closed at a certain hour, closed, we call it. Yeah. Or Letchworth.
I could see this thing going for Bigfoot, cryptics. I could see this. You're opening up a new field for everything there with this.
Can you imagine? Bigfoot picks it up, looks at it, checks it out.
I mean, but I'm just saying he could probably do that. I mean, you could do it at nighttime because you have the infrared on it. You got the infrared and the night vision and the thermal. You got all that stuff on it. I can see you going for the cryptics. I can see you going ghosts. Locations. You have to look at the sky for UFOs or something.
I love it.
That's the idea here. I mean, it looks very raw, like you said, because it's a flat platform with a bunch of sensors on it and cameras. But
I think it looks cool myself. Yeah, I think it looks cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It does.
But the dashboard really is what's great. When I look at this on my computer, like I said, I have to lower the stream quality because it's high quality video. I'm like, wow, this looks great. Wait a minute, why is it lagging? Oh, great, my Rover's in the street now.
It's in the street. It's
low
underneath that Mercedes.
In my neighborhood, I almost got hit by a car walking out to get the mail. So, but that's the idea. Like when you look at the dashboard, and I'll probably put videos up as I perfect it. Right now, the video I sent to you only shows, but the comments make me laugh on this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, to avoid
I didn't know that.
Well,
I was going to say, I thought they were cameras.
I'll get them one way or another.
Wow.
But like when you look at the dashboard, I can toggle all three cameras right now. There is a bona fide GPS mapping overlay that comes on. It's part internet because I need an internet connection to run this. So I'm overlaying the GPS position on an actual map. And it's funny, like I was running it around the yard, then I'm looking at the GPS data and you can see all the circles I'm making as I'm going. All of that works right now. So, it's
that's really cool. Yeah.
The other great thing is it can take pictures, it can record video, that's all done already. And I can download them. If I plug this thing into my router at home, it comes right down onto my computer and I can review anything that I record. So
right, which is huge because it's not always the case, right? Like, especially
how
in the
much
early
noise does
SLS
it make when it runs? Because you could do EVPs on it too.
Well,
it would be at a standstill, right? Like when it was actually doing its recording.
Yeah, so because when you can see the motor and stuff. Because I used to build remote control cars years ago, and the servos and all that. Anything that turns, you got that little noise, and the motor itself, that can interfere with a lot of give you false, positive on the audio, or contamination, a lot of contamination, and the bouncing if with the cars and stuff. So
plus when it's running, plus it's gonna bounce, you know what I mean? Because I have to make it enough that it can climb up little rocks and things like that. The idea is it's gonna sit stationary, and that's actually part of the code I'm working on right now, is that it's gonna be like a loiter mode. In other words, when it's driving, I just need the front camera to see where I'm going. You know what I mean? Before I institute the self-driving, which is gonna be a bit of a challenge. So I just need that front view to get me to where I'm gonna go. It stops. I can turn the cameras on and off. I can stream all 3 cameras if I want, and then it's going to record. And it's also going to have audio as well. So
yeah, I got a suggestion on something that you could do. You have your recorder, but you have another recorder that could ask questions, and you just have the rover just go into a location, and one will ask questions and see what you could catch on the other one at the same time. So there's no physical, pre-recorded questions. There's no physical anybody there. So you could go and have a question, one recorder that's being played, and one recorder that's going to record. And so there's no physical person there. So I know locations that I've done. Like the Hinsdale house, what we did was we put all our equipment inside the house. I put speakers in there, and I sat outside with a wireless microphone, and I kept on asking questions and stuff like that. And we had recorders all over the place. And the one question I thought this was, I'm like, okay, guys, how do I get out of here? Can you bang and get me out of here? And one of my guys on my team was in front of the building walking with his son, and he heard somebody banging on a window.
Oh, good.
So to me, a lot of these places have more activity when there's nobody there.
Or it's quieter, but could you also project your voice in using that? Like, I mean, we're already adding more stuff to your thing that you don't need to add more stuff to. But I wonder if you could have a live.
I was planning to do that because since it's a streaming interface, kind of like a web, session or a web meeting, there's no reason why I can't project a voice for a speaker, a small speaker, and wait for a reply. The other thing you can do too is you can pre-record, you know what I mean, and just play it. It's essentially the brain is a computer, so you can store files on there and just have them, speak. But I do have a project that's going to come out in the future. This one I'm keeping a little close to my vest because it's a combination of a lot of different technologies, but I'm making something that's going to be interactive. Even those little robots that we're playing with. The idea is I'm making something that's going to be a lot larger scale, interactive, designed for inside investigations. That you just send it off on your own while you're investigating another location. I don't want to say too much more.
That's fine. That's really cool.
I've already got $400 invested in the technology, so I'm just going to put it together. And again, it's not for sale. It's really, this is the kind of thing that I would, if it does work the way I think it's going to work, I would actually get a booth at a Paracon and demonstrate it. That's how confident I am in the project. So
that's awesome. Okay, so
when it's ready, I'll let you know and maybe even debut it here if you like. I'm happy to do that. So.
Yeah, I mean, when it's ready, come back and show us.
Absolutely.
That would be amazing.
I'm looking forward to see a lot more stuff. If you need anybody to come along with you, just give me a call.
I would love that. That's when you saw that one video where it said Third Power Paranormal, it said help wanted. I'm really
there you go.
When I went to Absicon, I called up people I knew who were available, and we all got together. But if I can get a couple more people, yay! But it would I do. Number one, I don't like to investigate alone, and it's not because I'm afraid. It's because you go someplace and something happens to you. Who knows? You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing a little urban exploration.
That's the way to do it, Mark. Like you do it for you, right? You do it for your own exploration, your own curiosity.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, I don't like, because I've been in locations where by myself in an abandoned building and stuff, and you're walking around and you just think, oh, and you're looking and the ceilings are falling, everything's. I'm like, I could fall through this floor. Nobody knows I'm here. I could be here for a long time, and
Oh
nobody.
yeah.
Yeah. Letchworth
like
Village, you're not
Penhurst.
supposed yeah, there too. But Letchworth too, you're not supposed to be in there. So Pop would
No.
potentially pull you out of there. What the hell are you doing here? And if he's having a bad day, right, give you a nice ticket. But at the same
You're not
time, you walk
supposed to
around
be in
that place. Yeah, who's going to stop? There's like 5 different ways to get in. But at the same
Yeah.
time, there are open elevator shafts there, and the concrete is falling off the ceiling. If you get hit in the head or something, you fall and break your leg. Nobody's going to know unless somebody hears you.
That's right.
100%. That's a horror story right there. Yeah, that's really bad. So I agree. Yeah, I mean, definitely. We were just at Penhurst a couple weeks ago, and Anthony and I were in the God, I can't remember where we were, but it was so bad that we were actually saying, I don't think we should actually be here. Like, I don't think we should be in this spot.
Holes in the ceiling, and it was like,
it was
wow,
really bad, really bad.
So it's.
I was like, I'm not pulling you up if you fall through the floor.
Yeah, well,
I'll be like, nice knowing you, Anthony. Just like come through on my spirit box.
Jenny's so light, you wouldn't fall through anything.
Oh my God.
She just floats over the floor.
I'm so light. I'm white as a ghost. I'm clear. He calls me
like,
clear.
He says she's a shade of Casper, the friendly ghost.
Oh my God. No, I would never leave you, Anthony. You know that's a joke. Never.
No, you would.
Some of the stuff I make is not very high tech.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this on my desk because it happened to be here. So I just demonstrate this real quick. Hopefully the batteries.
Please.
So this is designed to take pictures, and it's taking it in multiple spectrums. So the first one is infrared. That's infrared, I think. UV. Well, it's UV, infrared, and full spectrum, and then all of the above. And it's snapping a picture every time that goes through one of those different spectrums. But that's a picture.
Oh, wow.
That's a picture.
So you got the same exact picture in all three forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, actually, it's 4 because it's the 3 different spectrums and then all of them on at the same time.
All of them on the same time, too. That's interesting. I like my cameras, so it's like anything with cameras, I'm so into.
So a lot of these are based on this very inexpensive piece of equipment called a microcontroller. And microcontrollers, there's a whole bunch of them out there. There's a whole class called ESP32 cameras. And there's so many samples of code online. You don't even have to make the code yourself. If you know how to upload it to the little board and wire in a few extras, you can have a full spectrum camera. I 3D printed the case. This cost me $30. And
nice.
the camera I modified myself because you unscrew the little lens and you pop out that little filter, the IR filter. It's now a full spectrum camera.
I've done that with GoPros.
Oh, good idea.
I have an old GoPro and I'm like, I really should convert this one. I'm not using it. If I break it, it's really just going to kill me.
Yeah, it's very easy. Just guys screw off the lens and just pop that out, and then you got to put the lens back on. But you got to make sure when you put it back on, you're focusing the camera, and then you got to put a little glue on to keep the lens back together. To get it out. I mean, I make it sound easy because you have to cut it with the razor, to get the old glue off to get the lens out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I made about 4 or 5. I got full spectrum GoPros, and I also got a night vision GoPro, which I actually bought. And that is still good. And it's funny because, like you said, when you come with all these cameras, there's more stuff to review.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I used to go. I used to go with like 8 cameras. I had a DVR system. Then I had the cameras, and you're getting so much hours. I had this at the Shanley the one time. I had a DVR camera on the 3rd floor. I had it on all night long. And I got there. I turned it on about 7 o'clock, and the next day I left about 10. So I went up there about 9, broke it down, and then I left. So I had from 7 night time to 9 o'clock the morning. All right, that's 4 cameras. Besides, I had cameras out, night vision cameras all over the place. So I had like 8 cameras. So you have like 36 hours, 8 times.
Of looking at a chair.
You know,
that's the problem. You're looking at Hinsdale. You're like looking at the chair in the basement.
No, that was no, it was the chair. It was the doorknob.
Okay, but the doorknob. Okay, yeah. So at the Ritz Theater in South Jersey.
Well, I had that. I did that at the Chili Pierce house already.
You did that for like 4 hours looking at a
doorknob. The closets and stuff like that. But like you said, there's so many hours and there's so much time in the day, and I'm not a computer person to sit here all night long on, sitting here. Yeah. My body's not made for that because I end up cramping. If I don't move after that, I become like a mummy in the chair and I can't move no more.
Speed. But Mark, you were mentioning motions, like motion sensors. To me, motion sensors and voice activation saved my life.
And that's what these cameras do. If it sees motion,
yeah, exactly.
Or it detects something, because then I get a small clip. It's easy to review. Right. And if I know, if I run the clip and I know it's a bunch of the people that I was investigating with next, I can just quickly scroll through them and then say, oh, the camera went on by itself. What's there? And just investigate that clip. Right. Save so much time. I used to do that too in the beginning. I didn't know about motion sensing and all that when I first started. Hours of footage. I'm like, okay, let me increase the speed to 4 times and watch it that way. And even then,
Can I ask a personal favor of you as an investigator, like to talk to me about the perils of using like a Ring camera? What are the downsides?
In the paranormal world?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are using like their Ring camera to catch, paranormal activity. Or is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Like technology wise?
I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I said, my friend was his. I think they were Ring footage that he sent me, and it's this weird ass thing floating around in his yard. And it's a shadow, and it's really compelling. The resolution on those cameras are great, and if you don't if you don't really know how to put together your own systems, then there's nothing wrong with bringing a Ring camera to investigation. The only downside is like, how does the mechanism work? So I have security cameras on my house. The footage doesn't get stored on the camera; it gets stored to a little box that's like on a hub.
Yeah.
All cameras connect wirelessly to that hub. It records the action and sends it to that. But if your camera is self-contained and the storage is there, like a little SD card or internal storage, you can plug it into your computer, then why not? Save you a lot of time.
Oh, great.
You just got
great.
Yeah, you just got to be mindful of what the system does. It has a home base, they call them. That's where all the storage is for the camera, and all the goodies, and maybe not, because then you have to set up that home base. You have to have a wireless connection to that home base.
Right.
But if the camera, and also you got to watch out if it goes to the cloud too, because then you need a cloud subscription on some of these cameras.
Right.
But if it's one of those lower end cameras that has its own internal storage, you just flip it on and it just records motion. Why not?
No, I agree. I mean, what about distance wise? Like it's, say, okay, this is a real life example. The other day, we monitor rooms in my mother-in-law's house when she's not there, right? So like we just have the cameras on just in case someone breaks in or whatever. And so the camera will go off very infrequently that there's motion in a bedroom, but there's no, and we watch and watch and watch and there's no motion. Like their sensitivity must be pretty high, for motion. Or there's a ghost. I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
shadow. Car going by, long as shadow from the.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. But I mean, we can't see that shadow. That's my point. How far does it detect? I'm sorry. I'm just like very interested in these cameras now.
So I have a Eufy camera that covers my driveway, And if somebody's walking in the street, I can lower the sensitivity on that camera so it doesn't go off all the time. You know what I mean?
That's what I was asking. Okay.
So some of the
So,
cameras
so you
also
have to
have
hit a
a
sweet spot, basically.
Yeah.
Do
Just
you
like
want to
any.
show us in back of you? Do you want to show us? Because I don't want to run out of time on you.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Do you want to show the I don't know what you call it, the unit behind you?
this one.
Yeah. Well,
The
we
other
want
one,
to bring it up a little
the one
closer.
with the one with all the infrared and
That was that video we put up, but
yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was a really good video. It was very clear, to understand it.
so hold on, let me just raise the camera a little bit. You can see my Godzilla collection that I've been there.
Right there.
Okay, so this spinning device is the LiDAR sending out an infrared.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's doing is it's reading the entire room. It's making a line on the back of the sensor, and it's looking for boundaries of the room and any motion that's in it.
So
This
it's
is the
scanning the
actual
whole
camera.
room.
Yeah, it's scanning 360 degrees. Of course, I have a lot of stuff behind it, so really it's the way the visual on the back, and I'll turn it around in a second.
So it's like
It is actually
340, 320 because you got the stuff behind it.
right.
Because you
So-
can record it with some behind.
So this camera here is the actual infrared camera. It's got two little infrared eyes on it. And the camera's in the center. And I have to give it an eye test when I buy these things. You get them from Amazon, I'll hold up a magazine and I'll tune it like this, with a live view on the camera. This is the actual millimeter wave radar sensor right here.
Wow.
And just turn it around.
Look at all these.
I just don't want to break the lighter. It's up to $200 right there.
No, you don't want to break anything on that thing.
The rest of it I can rebuild, like the case and all that stuff. I printed all this stuff, so that's easy. So and that's the
That's
suite
cool.
that's going on. So I don't know because I'm pointing it. You see the lines in there? That's the LiDAR. The little red
I
dot.
see it.
That's me because my head's right next to the sensor. Normally when I use this thing, it's about 3 feet in front of me. And then I set a minimum distance so it filters out any. But you see the red dot right there. And that's where the LiDAR and the other sensors are converging around my head. So that's the same principle. This can go out about, the maximum is about 10 meters on the millimeter wave radar. And I can actually control that as well. If it's a small room, I just say, okay, just look 3 meters out by 30 degrees. So these little grid lines, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try.
I can't see the grid. Oh, wait.
See that?
You can see it. Yeah.
On the video, you can see
Now
a
I
little
see it.
clearer. You can see the grid lines there. You also see the motion of me near the sensor actually setting it off. The other thing I can do with it is maybe glasses.
There's a red light on there's something in your room. No, I'm kidding. It's you.
It's me. It's a big head.
Picking up your head.
It's picking up a head.
So look at that. It's floating across the room.
See, you see how those lines are moving?
Yes, yes.
So I can narrow the sweep rate so that it says, okay, only look 20 degrees out from the sensor sides, for instance, and everything else don't show as a dot outside of where you want to measure. So that's how you have small room, you have people sitting around that are looking at the screen.
Yeah.
You filter them out.
So you don't have to hit the walls and shut it
Right.
down. You could narrow the sweep just in front of you. So like I say, it's a long hallway. Just now the sweep for the long hallway instead of hitting the walls.
You see how
You can look
narrow
in
I
your
can make it.
closet.
And when you narrow it, does it give it more of a distance?
What's that?
When you narrow it, does it give it more of a distance?
No, the difference, the distance
stays the
is
same?
controlled by 2 separate buttons, and then it would bring it in. So you
Oh,
can
okay.
cover a small part of the small room if you wanted to filter out. As I said,
That
you
makes
have
sense.
people next to you and do all that stuff. So yeah. So this one I'm having a lot of fun with, learning how it works. And I've gotten hits at the Chalet Hotel, at Lamson Brothers with it. So I know something is setting it off, and it ain't me because I filter myself out.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and the other, like I said, this particular arm here is where the thermal camera mounts. So it'll take video, infrared, and thermal.
That is very interesting. That's pretty
I
cool.
love it.
Hey,
I
are you going to put that on a rover and start driving that around too?
Only this part right here. I would do this little arm here, the
Right.
sensor. I do plan to put one on the rover, and I don't need the visual because it's going to be doing its
That's
own
true.
eventually.
Correct.
But it will, when at a stop, doesn't pick anything up. Moving, motion, thermal,
Right.
whatever else I can think of. I want to do something with that electromagnetic, but I'm not sure how to do that just yet. Maybe a little tower with an antenna or something like that. This is Steve.
I
Like
love
a Tesla, like a Tesla coil or something like that.
No, Tesla would mess with the electronics because
That's true.
The static.
The eddy
Yeah.
currents, all the eddy currents and all that. That
forget
extra-
that.
Yeah, these boards are like $150, and a good static jolt could potentially damage the electronics. So I stay away from that stuff. Plus, if you drive
Oh
under
my
a
God.
power line, you're going to pick that up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember one time I went to. I don't know if you ever heard of Rockport, the Rockport train disaster. It's in Jersey. You should look it up sometime. There's a train
Wait,
derailment
say
there.
it one more time. Where is
Rockport?
Rockport.
ROCK, Rockport. Yeah.
where
So
was
long
it?
story it's in Jersey somewhere. I went there a few years back with somebody.
No, there were a bunch of train disasters, but I don't think I know that one. I know that one that was like near Phillipsburg.
I wish we had Kim here. 'Cause she knows all that stuff.
Yeah, she does. She'd be like, "You guys, come on." Anyway,
Look, we talk about interference. So people, have senses. They've seen figures on the tracks and things like that. I just happened to turn on an
Right.
EMF meter, and the thing went crazy because right above are these
Yeah.
high tension power lines, and
Yeah.
who's in the high milligauss reading? I'm like, I'm going to get cancer almost any.
Yeah.
But if I was to do electromagnetic
Yeah.
energy experiments, they're going to be totally thrown off because you're under power lines and things like that.
Mhm.
So
Micro
outdoor
antenna.
exploration.
sure.
Yeah. If you put your microwave on, it'll go up to 11.
Mhm.
And your house is usually between 11, 8, 11 because of all the different stuff going on in your home. If you have it on.
Higher than that.
Yeah, well, it's depending what you have. Nowadays, with everything that has, you have in your home, between TV sets and everything. Everybody
Right,
has a
computer.
TV set now. They got like 10 TV sets, and that goes off also. But yeah, it's
Around.
For sure. So I know it's getting late, but we have two questions about you that we ask every week. One of them is Kim's question, which I always ask for her when she's working, which she is tonight. She's a veterinarian. She does. She works with horses at the racetrack in New Jersey.
Those going to have to be bingo questions, bingo words.
Well, no. So Kim always asks, is there a place that you find, and I know you said that you're developing sensitivity, but maybe not opening. Is there a place though that calls to you? That is a place that you love to go to? That there's like Anthoiny is the Shanley for sure. Is there a place that's kind of like your place, a location that you just love?
Say the channel too. I mean, because I've spent a lot of time there, and Bill Helms does his sessions. He's trying to connect with people there, and he has like a whole journal of notes that he thinks he's speaking to not the same things. I'm going to say he is speaking to an entity there. Fluffy, who was a gangster, right? I mean, he was just this.
Right.
It's like, I don't know what to call it. It's like it's spring
good answer.
actuated. It's made of copper, but it's like a bobber. That's what it is. So he uses that to try to get yes and no responses. that place is near and dear to my heart because Kelly is always like very welcoming anytime I come. She's like, "What'd you bring?" Because I do help Bill, host like his groups when they're up there. And she's like, "Oh, what'd you bring today to test?" And she's always very interested in the tech that's going out. And, that means a lot. It's like, "Oh yeah, like I think that's cool."
Yeah, she loves what you do. Loves it. She speaks about you so glowingly every time I talk to her.
Great.
So yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
And
and she's very nice.
Yeah.
I would like to go back to the Amsterdam Lighthouse again because I think my work there is not done.
I'm thinking that we go together is what I'm thinking, Mark, because I didn't go last year. And like Milton, he wrote to me. He was like, "Where are you? Like, where are you? It's been like summer and you're not here." So
he's one of the nicest guys.
I think we go back together.
Yeah, let's do it. If you want to pick a date, August, I'm there.
I usually go in August. That's Anthony's birthday. But yeah, I usually go in August. So, but let's see. I would like to set up a time. I mean, I'll just email him and we'll set it up. But I love that place. So, and Anthony hasn't been. So, I'd like to bring Anthony. We'll bring some friends.
That'd be outstanding. And a lot of the stuff that I'm experimenting with now, I didn't have at the time. So, it would be great to set this up.
Oh my God.
Up where the one thing, don't make fun of me. I'm afraid of heights. So, when I got there and I looked up at how high the lighthouse really was, I was like, it's 150 miles. What's that? And I was a little nervous climbing. But once I got up on the stairs, because they were nice and stable, you know what I mean?
I think it's more than that. But yes, it's a lot.
But going up the stairs, oh my God, I'm so high up in the air. But I would definitely go again because,
oh my gosh, it's the best. Do you go out? Like I always go outside.
I did all of it.
Yeah.
Did you notice all the electrical activity outside too of that place? Turn on a K2 meter or turn on an EMF detector when you're outside. The air is charged in that place.
I did. Yeah.
Is there a naval base nearby? Because I've never been there. Is there any kind of naval base or is there a naval base or some sort of marina nearby there? Or a marina, not a naval base so much, a marina or anything?
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of stuff coming out of Atlantic City. That's a lot of stuff too.
No, but I mean, it's right smack in the middle of it. Like literally, you go up to the top of it and you look out. It's casinos all around you.
All right.
It's quite a view.
Then I think because I've been to Atlantic City, but I never. I seen the lighthouse, but I never.
It's so cool. It's one of my places, but I love it. Love it there.
It's well maintained. It's also secure because let's face it, Atlantic City's a rough neighborhood.
Yes.
And you're off the boardwalk, but the entire parking lot of that place is fenced in. They have security. You get in there, you close the gates, so your car is safe.
Yeah.
Plus, we made a fun weekend of it. My wife came. We went to we stayed overnight in one of the casinos. We went to Hell's Kitchen and had dinner, and then we went and investigated. We had a blast that weekend. It was a lot of fun.
It's fun. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so that's a deal.
Yeah,
so the other question is my question. And it's kind of a silly one, but I love people's answers because we're sort of compiling a list of all the guest answers. What is your go-to snack on an investigation?
Smoke notes. My go-to snack. It definitely like.
You've got to think about it.
Yeah, because what the funny thing is, anytime I go to these things, I've already eaten. And, I get so into what I'm doing, sometimes I forget to eat. But if snack foods, any type of chips,
Oh my God, he forgets to eat. Okay. I have busy brain, but I don't forget to eat. I've got like 16 bags of gummy bears.
Well, the full moon will tell you, anytime I go somewhere, I'm bringing a ton of stuff. Most of it I don't use. But then I'm running around setting all this shit up so I can catch as much evidence as possible. And then the next thing you know, you start walking around, you start working with other groups.
I get it.
And the next thing you know, it's time to go home. So
I get it.
On a diet too. So
what would it be? Would it be chocolate? Would it be chips? Like what would it be?
I love chocolate.
Pizza.
Milk chocolate.
Okay.
Love pizza. Like that's one of the things with the Shanley. We got pizza there all the time when they do the meetup. So I'm like immediately in the pizza. Chips definitely. Any type of potato chip, I'm all in. So.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. We get beef jerky a lot. We get a lot of beef jerky and peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms, which I never knew. and
I like the meat, the meat sticks.
those are two top answers.
Yeah.
But no one said cannoli except me.
You're a cannoli. You are cannoli.
Drink. It's water. I don't drink, but
Coffee. So
I know. Time to go.
I mean, we're always willing to come out with you if you want, or if we have something event, we could invite you to.
Please join us.
Are you gonna be at the Hollow?
Yeah,
I will see you with full moon.
Yes, I share this all the time. Like full moon, they're great, and the first time they asked me to help with one of their events, even though I was just kind of hosting a group while they did their initial presentation, I thought it was a great honor. I was like, wow, I'm being taken seriously for what I do. I'm always happy to, I'm a cheap date. I don't ask for anything. I just bring my stuff and happy to help and happy to participate. So this is a passion for me. It's always fun
I
to do.
think we're going to be there together in about 2 weeks. Are you going to the Fort Decker one?
What's the date on that one?
No.
I
No?
heard
Okay,
that.
I saw you put it on your page. That's why I thought you might be going.
I must have.
Okay.
Oh, I think I hit interesting because I was thinking of going. So I remember
There
now.
you go. There you go. Okay.
Busy brain.
There you go. Anyway, I thought you might be going. So I'm going to be working with them there. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, hopefully I get to see Fort Gettysburg.
Yeah, I would love to get this rover up and running 100% and take it down to Gettysburg. But, in the future, I may move out of New York, for retirement. So I'm trying to fit in as much stuff as possible over the next couple of years before I move on. So,
Right.
We're part of you upstate, or because I know you're not getting in the Bronx no more. Were you upstate?
Well, how you ask a New Yorker, I live in Orange County, New York, but I'm from the Bronx. So
you're upstate.
Yeah, I'm in Newburgh.
Yeah. Oh, you're in Newburgh. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Very nice. I go there all the time with full moon.
I used to go there. There used to be a 250-year-old barn we used to investigate. It was the whole property. Yeah. And we used to go there all the time. I mean, I had so much stuff there. I have drawings of a lot of stuff that happened there and a lot of evidence and stuff.
Really?
And the owner didn't want us to do it anymore. Yeah. They owned the property at that time, like 150 years. Their family owned that property. And Washington's been through there and everything. So
very cool.
Very cool. By the cantonment up in New Windsor, maybe.
The what?
Where?
It's called the cantonment. There's a bunch of buildings there going back to
okay.
The American Revolution. George Washington had been through there. I'm thinking it's around there.
It could be.
Where I'm thinking it is.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area.
Yeah.
So Anthony, I'm concerned that we're going to run out of time before putting all his information up. So let's put how people can find you. How can people find you and your videos?
Well, my OnlyFans account, just a minute. You can find me on Instagram. I have 2 accounts, ghost_rapport. And then there's my third paranormal page, because I didn't realize I'd be making my own group at any point. So it's third_power_paranormal. There you go. I'm on Facebook as well. So you can always drop me a line there. But I look at my Instagram more when I'm doom scrolling and reeling at night. So if anybody ever wants to drop a line, has questions about technology or anything paranormal related, I'm always happy to share.
I love it. Okay.
Awesome. Definitely.
Just write it down.
2 hours. 2 hours went really fast. You were right.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
When we end the show, don't go nowhere. Don't click off.
Just wait for us.
A bit after the show. Okay?
Yeah, no problem.
We're coming to the closing hour, which I hate.
Oh, God.
We had a lot of people in the audience, a lot of people interested in all this technology. Yeah. It's great. I thought it was
for sure.
That's why when it's like, hey, I got a Mark on here because I seen your stuff and I was like, I haven't seen it in a while, and And when I first met you, I liked the cameras you had, and just the wires hanging out that time.
Those are my early versions. Yeah,
The
they
early
were real
version
sloppy.
was wires here hanging all over the place. But I
That's
thought it
great.
was cool how they worked. I really thought it was cool how they worked. And then I seen you at the place, and we talked, and we thought, oh, maybe we'll get together, and ended up not. As time goes
Yeah.
by.
Yeah,
So
last summer I got laid off, so I really I took the summer off. I started working again in the fall, and I was traveling with my wife and just living it up. They took care of me when I left. I had a really good severance package, so
Love it.
I was enjoying life.
Yeah,
I
good.
wasn't investigating all that much. And then this year, it's really been strictly tech, and I've been really kind of narrowing it down to 3 or 4 projects that I want to focus on, like my rover, my EVP work, and this LiDAR system that I'm working on. So I've been kind of trial and erroring it, and Full Moon's invited me to a few things. So I'm really glad, if it gets me out of the house to do some investigating and say, all right, get away from your workbench, go have fun doing
Oh,
it.
that's
instead of
easy.
yeah.
preparing, So
We can do that.
Um,
We can get you out. That's
well,
great.
we're gonna really have to end the show. I just want to
No,
thank you for thank you. I'm gonna have you back. We're definitely gonna see you in the future. I definitely want to.
definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe we do some stuff together, and just do stuff together and hang out too.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want
my
to thank
Thank
you.
pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we really appreciate it.
That was a joy, really.
Okay.
I want to thank the audience for their questions, and everybody in the audience they really liked
Hanging in
what
there
they were
tonight.
seeing,
Thank
and
you.
I thought that was awesome. You know, so with all that said, I just want to, if you guys go on an investigation and just go, you go anywhere on an investigation, you want to be safe because you want to look for ghosts. You don't want to be a ghost. Okay. I want to say good night. Thank you, everybody. And see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Ciao, familia. Forget about it. Hey.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, how you doing?